Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you are doing good. So this is something rare. So this is the Jolla C2 and just arrived a couple of days ago, and this is the first Jolla phone with me here. So fans of Nokia and I will definitely know this device in detail, and what I'm going to do in this video is just to share the unboxing experience as well as how I set up the device so that it boot up in a way that it doesn't actually mess up with the booting process, which is affecting some users of the Jolla C2. And at this point of time, some of the initial consumers that purchased the Jolla C2 have yet to receive them. So I'm going to share that process of how to boot up in a safe way in a bit. So this is the Jolla phone 1, and probably this is the earliest look into a modular design for a device. Now this runs on the Sailfish operating system, and I think this is probably one of the devices out there that got the longest support by the manufacturer. So I think it's more than 5 years of operating software updates for this device alone, and it's a testament to the commitment to give or to support the device as long as it could possibly handle the new operating system or the new updated operating system. So this is the Jolla phone 1, and you can see the modular design, the other half as what Jolla calls them. Really brilliant design, and it runs on a very familiar swipe based navigation that we are all familiar with. So this is the Jolla phone 1, still looks brilliant after all these years, and definitely this is a must have in your collection. If you're a fan of collecting Nokia devices, this is definitely one that needs to be with you. Now sadly I don't have any other the other half, because it was actually not available officially in this part of the world. I had to get this from Italy, and with me is the Jolla C2 right here, and you can see the difference in the dimension, which means this is going to be a much larger device. Now one thing I really like with this, the way that Jolla thinks, is the way they execute things are much different than the conventional manufacturers out there. Now you can see the consistency in terms of the design, but what I truly appreciate is how you get to push the inner packaging with ease, so that you don't have to fiddle in the way your package is actually packed, and sometimes you tend to tear them up, so that kinds of like spoils the experience overall. And this small change or design that Jolla comes with is actually really simple but really useful to end users like us, which like to keep things as new as possible. So this is the Jolla C2, and it kind of reminds me of Phoenix Rebirth. So yes, despite all the challenges, Jolla is still manufacturing devices, and this is the Jolla C2, which is going to be a reference design for their Sailfish OS 5. Now 1,000 of this device was actually made. This was announced somewhere in May this year, and was supposed to be launched or made available to the initial purchasers in August, but it came in small batches in September. I got mine somewhere in October, and it took a long trip from all the way from Turkey to Finland, from Finland to Italy to me. So that was the process, and it's finally here. Now you can see that Jolla actually partnered with this other manufacturers in Europe. Other than HMD, apparently there's another manufacturer in Europe, which is Reader. So they're based in Turkey, and they have assembled this device, and this is the Jolla C2. So I'm just going to do a simple unboxing first, and I've actually tried and tested with this device, and you will be greeted with this message from the Jolla boys. So I appreciate this kind message here from them. So I'm going to put this aside, and it doesn't have any cable, it doesn't have any brick charges included, but what you have is just the warranty information. So for those of you who are wondering, this device gets a 2 years of warranty support from them, but it's not going to be useful for me at this point of time, because I'm located many thousand miles away. So I'm just going to make sure that this device is kept as new as possible. So this is the Jolla C2 device, and before I go further, let me just share with you some nice detailed images of this device here. You can see that the back is shiny. Not sure if it's plastic or glass, but it does feels really nice. and you have this silver lining at the lower half of the camera island. Triple camera setup with LED flash. This consists of a 64 megapixel primary, 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel depth. I'll be sharing the samples in a bit. The front has a 16 megapixel camera. Now you've got a single bottom firing speaker with a USB-C port, and you've got a 3.5mm head jack. Volume rocker and power button is here, nothing on the left side, but so this is metal definitely, and this is where you insert your SIM and your micro SD card. So this is a dual SIM 4.5G device, which basically is a 4G LTE device, and the memory can be expanded from 128GB to anything that you want with the micro SD card. This has 8GB of RAM. I think it's running on a Unisoc T606 processor, and it comes with Sailfish OS 5. Now the battery is at 4000 milliampere, and I can't see the speed of the charge, but with a rapid charger I managed to charge this device less than 2 hours. So this is how the device looks like. Really looks nice, and next to the original device you can see the differences in size, but strangely in terms of the thickness it is about the same. I say it's probably thinner than the original Jolla device, so thinner but definitely wider and taller. So the display is just an HD plus display, nothing really fancy about that. Now let me just show you some samples of the images captured with this device. It's not for serious photography. The cameras are just there for the sake of completing the camera part of the device. Nothing really fancy. I think the details are acceptable, but definitely they could improve on the dynamic range, the color and the contrast, as well as the level of noise. And the 2 megapixel macro camera is there. It's not really something that I want to comment much, but yep, it will do casual photography just fine, and everything is based on swipe. So I'm not going to go and deep dive into the operating system. That is something that is being worked now, and there will be a lot of updates to improve this performance. So just to show you the latest information is that it's running on the version build 5.0.0.29. so this is the latest one, and you can see how it's actually performing. I will say this is not as smooth as what you will expect, but it's definitely smoother than the original operating system that the device came with, and everything as familiar as it is with the previous generations of operating system on even the older devices like the Jolla Phone 1. So everything is quite familiar in that sense, and how you interact with this device. Everything is still just the base and looks to be just about fine. But yes, it's not ready for prime time yet, not as a daily driver yet. There's still a lot of things need to be worked out, and as it is, this is a reference device. So the community edition is a reference device where end users, they send their feedback to Jolla, so Jolla can improve on their software. So that's something, like I said earlier, the software support from Jolla team has been really remarkable, especially with the first generation of the Jolla device, and I believe it's going to be the same here. Now what's more important is a lot of people have been caught up with these boot loop issues that affect a certain group of certain subset of the people that actually bought the Jolla C2, and at this point of time the only workaround is to send the device back to Finland, which might be very expensive even in Europe itself, but definitely not something that I would be able to do. So Jolla actually has an updated instruction on how to boot up your device so that you don't get caught with the boot loop issue, but I did some modification to that step. Now I'm not saying that this is the step to follow, but this is a step that I took, and this is a step that worked for me, so you could probably try that. But for most of the users out there who haven't got their Jolla C2, if you are awaiting for your device from Jolla, most likely Jolla has already updated it to the latest operating system update which was available, so that means you won't have that issue. But if you're like me, where your device has been in transit for the last 1 month or so, then probably this video will be suitable for you. So what I did was, once I got the device, I put it into my rapid charger, charged the device all the way up to 100%, which took less than 2 hours. Then I unplugged it from the charger, I boot up the device. After the first welcome home screen, which is basically hello in different languages, I then move into the selection of language. I selected as English UK, The time zone was at automatic. I left it as it is. At Helsinki, do take note, no SIM card in yet for this device. Then I moved on to the next, which is basically once you go past the time zone setting, I believe it's probably security setting. So security setting, I just use the security code as 12345, and once I've done that, is I need to connect to the data before I log into my Jolla account. So what I did was, I instead of connecting to a Wi-Fi or use a SIM card, I use a hotspot from the HMD Skyline to connect to for the Jolla to connect to. So what I did was, I kept it at 2.4 gigahertz without any security. So it's an open network at 2.4 gigahertz from the HMD Skyline, so that the Jolla device can connect without any issue, and it worked well in that sense. So this brings me into logging to the Jolla account and follow through the subsequent tutorial on how to use the new Jolla device. I did not skip the tutorial. I followed through each and everything. I made sure that I follow the phases. I did not rush into setting up the device. And once I'm done, there are certain apps that needs to be updated. So a hotspot connection will be identified as a metered connection, so you won't be able to download the available update immediately. So once I done with all the download of the certain apps to update the device, then once it's into the home screen, then I just went into the settings, I disconnect from the hotspot and I connect it to my Wi-Fi, and I downloaded the update which was waiting. So once I've got the new update, the download process took about half an hour. It's faster if you don't actually use the device. So once I've done that, I downloaded it and then I install it. During the installation, the display goes on and off for a couple of times before it finally boots up. It takes roughly about half an hour or so for it to boot up. And once it boots up, and then you will notice that you don't have to be fearful of this boot up issue. So this is the way that I managed to get my Jolla C2 to boot up without any issue. I hope it will work for you as well. I think what's different here is the way I connect the device to the network, which is through the hotspot instead of SIM or Wi-Fi. So for those of you who are interested to purchase the Jolla C2 device, the first 1000 is sold out. Jolla will definitely be having another sale session pretty soon, and do take note that at this point of time it is not ready for prime time yet. This has, as a reference device, there's a lot to work with, and that is something that Jolla will be doing on their part. And do take note also that you can still experience the Sailfish OS 5 on supported Xperia device, and the experience now on Jolla devices moving forward is going to be a subscription base, where you pay about £50 or so yearly to have the updates coming to your device. And yep, I think that's pretty much what I want to share with the Jolla device. If you have any questions, do hit me up in the comment section or in Twitter. I'll try my best to answer. For those of you who want to know the details of the device on the operating system and what to troubleshoot and whatnot, I suggest you to go to the Jolla forum. There are tons of much more advanced users out there who probably could guide you better than what I could. So a quick look into Jolla C2. I hope that this video is somewhat educational for people out there who are having issues booting up the device or want to prevent the boot up issues, and also for all the people out there who are curious on the Jolla C2. So hope to see you again. Do stay safe and take care.